Welcome to Pause for the Truth, where you can sit back, relax, and hear an honest dialogue about health, wealth, legal, and social issues. The hosts are Dr. Rogers Kane, family practice physician, and Jocelyn Turner, health education consultant, with co hosts from the Northeast Florida Medical Society and its foundation. Stay tuned for the truth about matters affecting you and your family. We're here to tell you what's really going on and why. Good evening and welcome to Pause for the Truth. I am Jocelyn Turner. Such a wonderful day in of life, because we're about to celebrate Thanksgiving and really give thanks for all that we are blessed with. Um, I always say that, sometimes when I'm feeling like things are not going right, I say, you know what, Jocelyn, there are some folks who are really dealing with some issues. So I am truly thankful for my life and what's happening. Welcome to all of you. Welcome to our audience. Dr. Kane, is it a busy time of season for you, although everyone's getting ready for the holidays, but people still want to check in with their primary care physician before the holiday starts?
Good evening, everybody. One of the reasons they want to check in, they need a work excuse so they can come back late Monday. Not
Yes,
go to
yes.
work Monday, not go to work tomorrow. So that's one of the reasons that they come in to see me. I just ask them to just be upfront with me so we don't waste any time me chasing out with some diagnoses that ain't there.
I can't with you, Dr. Kane. I just hope that you're really teasing and that's not the truth. Do people really do that?
Yes.
Wow.
Yes.
Why not just ask for the days off? I mean, really?
Well, and that's what I'm saying. If they just come to me and just tell me, because otherwise I'd be putting out resources unnecessarily. We can spend time with others. I believe people need mental health days. I believe in family. I believe in all that. So I don't have a problem if that's what they come and ask me. Now, if they abusing it, give me something just to make sure I'm not just, getting you off. Give me something to make me be able to do that without a guilty conscience. But I'm like you from the standpoint, real quick. I'm like you. I don't complain because I see people that are a lot worse off than I am, so I just shut up. They got nothing to complain about.
Amen. And that's our sermonette for tonight. Well, we're going to get on with tonight's discussion because I shared the podcast, as I always do, with several folks, not because I'm trying to give a hint to them, but because I know all of us need some good information. Although Linda and Amadeus, Chef, it might be too late because the slathering of butter and all the oils and stuff are probably already in the shopping cart on the way en route to the house, and people are getting ready. But hopefully they will learn from you too as we talk about healthy eating for the holidays. So how's my favorite registered licensed dietitian with all the, let's see, registered dietitian, RDN, LDN, CLC, and all that other good stuff, Linda Lockett Brown?
Doing fine. And even though Thanksgiving has already been purchased, we still have Christmas and New Year's.
That's exactly my thought.
And all those days in between, right?
Right.
Yes.
All those parties. Chef, I know you're big. Welcome, Linda. And Chef, how are you doing this evening? I've had some of your healthy menu items, so I know that it is possible that we can cook and eat healthy. How are you doing this evening?
I'm doing absolutely wonderful. Like I said, it's the holidays, and even though everything's been purchased, as Lyndon always talk about, all right, portion size it and get through it. But it's I think a lot of people just do things out of convenience. I tell them all the time, if you just cook at the house, just cook at the house and
Or let you come cook for them, right, Chef?
exactly. I mean, I always talk about my favorite thing you better talk about is pot pies. I love pot pies.
I do too.
I made one last night. But here's the thing, though. I always tell people, if you make it at the house, you have more control over everything you did. And the pot pie that I made, I instead of putting like a crust on it, I made I had a buttermilk, cat head biscuits on top of them. So each cat head biscuit was a portion, but I put tons of vegetables, mixed vegetables in there, as much as I wanted to. Now and there
What's
was
the cat head biscuit,
There
chef?
you go. That's what I was about to ask. What is a cat head? I was raising my hand. What's a cat head biscuit?
So cat head biscuits, they're just really big biscuits. And the reason it's a southern thing, cat head biscuits, because they're the size of a cat of a cat's head. So that's why they call it cat head biscuits. And some people bake them, but you go deeper and older in age, they fry them.
That doesn't sound very healthy to me, chef. I'm trying to say that crust is healthier.
But like I said, I baked them, and like I said, it's just really, you just cut out the preservatives. Linda and I talk about this all the time. If you just start cutting out preservatives, you'll be fine. Because if the pot pie I made last night, the ingredients stop like this, but you go to the one in the store, it's still going like, right. And you need a PhD to figure out exactly what those things are.
Well, I'm a pharmacist and I did a lot of chemistry and I still ain't figured out most of them.
Well, here's another thing too. When people go out and get these Chick-fil-A sandwiches and things like that, there are over 40 chemicals in that to make it good. And there's over about 50 of them, but about 40 of them are all man-made.
We won't pick on Chick-fil-A. We'll say fast food.
So what?
I'm talking about Chick-fil-A. I agree with him.
Look, same thing with McDonald's.
But it's true of all of them.
Yeah,
right. You get McDonald's French fries.
We won't pick on them. We'll go with just fast food in general.
So the French fries, if you make them at home, it's fries, some oil, and some grease. But not when you go out. They got chemicals on top of chemicals on top of chemicals for them. And here's one thing I shift people to. Look at what's banned in Europe,
right,
in Canada, and eat that way. Like the ketchup in the States and ketchup in Canada don't even match.
But nobody's making ketchup at the house, chef. Forget the French fries. I want to talk about holiday food. Come on, chef, because I'm trying to make my candy yams, and I want you all to tell me, other than me slathering all the sugar and syrup and butter and all that on I do use, back in the day, I would open up a can of potatoes, sweet potatoes or yams. Nowadays, and for years now, I have been cutting my own sweet potatoes to make my candy yams. But I'm going to be very transparent and tell you how I cook them, and no judgment. It's a no judgment zone, right? Right.
Right.
So here's what I do. I'm going to cut up my sweet potatoes. I'm going to set them aside in some water while I am melting a stick of butter. Oh yeah, I'm slathering it on, Linda. I'm slathering it on. And then when it's melted, I'm going to put some cinnamon and some brown sugar in there. Tell me what I could do different.
First of all,
a quarter of a stick of butter and 3/4 of a cup of applesauce.
No brown sugar?
You can use a Splenda brown sugar.
Ew.
Or just cut the brown sugar in half.
Or here's the other thing too. Don't boil your potatoes, bake them.
Oh, I don't boil them. I bake them.
Okay.
Oh yeah. No, I don't boil them.
When you throw that water out, there's all the nutrients going out from the skin, from everything going down the drain.
Right.
Oh no, I peel the skin. I don't eat. I peel the skin. Who eats sweet potato yams with the skin on them, chef? What in the world?
My husband.
No. Really?
They bake it. They'll boil it with the skin on.
No. I peel the potatoes and then mix my ingredients and pour it over it. And by the way, Linda, I try to make it a little better by diluting it with water. So whatever that little bit of,
Well, you can also use crushed pineapple.
So wait a minute now. Let's back up. Tell me what my ingredients are. I'm using a quarter of a stick of butter.
Crushed pineapple.
Crushed pineapple.
Applesauce.
Oh, that sounds so sweet.
And you can do away with the sugar.
Oh, and cinnamon. I can still use my cinnamon though.
Oh,
right?
Absolutely.
Yeah. Cinnamon got good.
I'm sure you still have some of my Chino 5, don't you, Jocelyn?
I need some more, Chef.
Okay, we'll make that happen.
Chef, where do we buy your salt-free seasonings? How do we get those?
You go to my website at chefamadeus.net. And thanks to everybody. They've been on back order, so they'll be up hopefully the next week. But it's been interesting because I've been doing a lot of outdoor cooking. The hunters are appreciating my my flavors.
That's wonderful.
I'm glad to hear they're on back order because that means you're doing good.
Yes, yes, sir. Yes, sir. Now with your sweet potato skins, you could throw those in the air fryer. And when they come out, they're crispy. You can season those up.
So, Chef, I'm going to host how to cook with the air fryer party because I have 2 air fryers and I am not good at. I don't like my food that I've prepared in it thus far. So I don't know what I've done wrong or what. So I definitely need a lesson on there.
So you're gonna have a party. So invite Chef, and that's so I can eat some of his cooking and not yours.
No, everybody brings that. No, you bring your own air fryer. Listen, did I not say this is a no judgment zone? So no, you bring your air fryer and Chef would do a demonstration of how to cook with your air fryer. I think that's a brilliant idea.
My favorite thing to cook in the air fryer is Cornish game hen.
I don't like hens, but okay.
That's one of my favorite things. I just season it up with my seasonings, throw it in there for 20 minutes, done.
So Linda,
the way I survived my air fryer is I took the instruction book and I taped it to the refrigerator that's next to the stove so I could follow the directions.
So you can flip the pages back and forth, right?
That's right.
Linda, let me ask you a question. Many people have high blood pressure and diabetes and high cholesterol. What food should people really avoid or at least limit how much they consume this holiday season?
I was teaching a class and somebody was telling me that they went to the farmer's market and got some mustard greens, and I was all excited. And I said, okay, what did you put in the mustard greens? And she said, pig's feet and pig snout. And my face betrayed me. I said, do they still sell that? And they're like,
yes,
Mrs. Brown, yes. So if the vegetables are wonderful, unadulterated, when you start adding all of the smoked meats that now you're getting nitrates, nitrites, and sodium, you just ruin the greens. So
I tell my patients, my favorite quote to them is, I use collard greens as an example. Collard greens are excellent vegetables. They're great, great food. But again, when you throw in all that fat back and everything else, you turn it from a vegetable to a meat.
Well, here's what I do.
How do you make them healthy, though? I mean, how do you cook them with flavor and avoiding?
Listen to this. So I don't cook I cook collard greens all the time, and I do not use meat. But what I do is this. So if you look at the old school folks, they'll put a little sugar in there. They'll put the meat and everything in there. So what I do is I make something that's called sofrito. Okay, it's a Puerto Rican condiment. It has garlic. It has cilantro in there, peppers, onions, all vegetables. Okay, and I will throw that in the pan, season that up, and I use a vegetable broth. And I let that cook down and concentrate the flavors. Now, instead of adding that sugar in there, what I'll do is I'll brown off carrots and sweet potatoes, get natural sugar in there. So now you got natural flavors. Everything is natural in there. and just let it cook down. Don't overcook it because they're called greens, not browns.
Yeah.
That's the biggest thing that people do is they overcook their greens. Like, well, I like them tender. There's tender and then there's
Mushy.
So that's how you do it. It's built up. You like, okay, if you want it sweet, add in the sweet potatoes, add in the
Sweet
carrots.
potatoes and greens. Wait a minute, Chef. Sweet potatoes and carrots and greens.
Yes, and then look, I've even put tomatoes in there.
No, sir.
Because it needs the acid. Tomatoes need acid.
No.
So here's the secret. You take, at least when I do it with my crew, I use carrots or tomatoes. I put them in the blender. Then I put them in there so they can't identify what I did.
Oh, okay.
That's the same thing with the sofrito. Sofrito has tomatoes, onions, garlic, peppers, all that stuff in there, and it's just I use it for everything.
But here's the thing: when you make those modifications, the greens are not gonna taste like the ones with the fat back.
Nope.
But the greens taste good. It's just different.
So the smoke. So that's liquid smoke stuff. I know some people who will use that instead, and or red pepper flakes to give it some flavor.
Now, what you can do is get dehydrated mushrooms and rehydrate them.
You're killing me. You're killing me, Chef.
Listen, I'm trying to help you, man.
So this is flavor. This is how you get flavor without things that are gonna hurt you.
Oh my God!
Okay, Justin. If you know anybody that has a grill that smoke stuff, tell them to smoke you some water and use that instead of liquid smoke.
Smoke you some water.
Yeah.
Okay. School me. How do you smoke water?
Put it on the grill.
Without a lid.
Without a lid. And just so when somebody's, they have their smoker going.
Wow.
So you get the flavor and the smell without the additives.
So on the grill, I guess.
But like I say, the easiest way, you go to Asian market, get you some of those dehydrated mushrooms, rehydrate them, and use that water, that broth, as an umami flavor.
How do you rehydrate them? You just slap them in some water?
Put them in some water.
That's all you do.
Tyrone, are you writing this down? Here's what I have. I have to make some healthy mushrooms. Some options are, healthy collard greens. Some options are to blend some carrots and tomatoes, or use the mixture, the sofrito. Get you a pot of water and have somebody to put it in a smoker to give you that flavor, or rehydrate some dehydrated mushrooms.
Okay, Jocelyn, if you write things down, I'm gonna give you the recipe for the way I make my sofrito. Okay.
All right, we're gonna count on that, and we'll put it on our website. So now,
wait a minute. Do you want it on our website, Chef? Is the question. Because that is the product. That might be trademark.
No. Listen, everybody makes sofrito. Sofrito is like salsa. Everybody makes it. Everybody has it a different way. But like I said, my thing is this. You can, and people always ask me, won't you go buy it? I can't buy it because I grew up making it with my grandmother. Right. So this is just how we do stuff. You can get pico de gallo and do the same thing. It's already cut up. Use pico de gallo and put it in your greens.
So that's SOFRITO, right? Sofrito.
Yeah.
Okay. Linda, you're going to say something because I also want you to get back to applesauce. What you mentioned that for me earlier. What is applesauce a good substitute for?
It's a substitute for fat.
Really?
So you can go 1-to-1. So if it says half a cup of oil, you can do 1/4 cup of oil and 1/4 cup of applesauce.
Oh.
Never know the difference.
Sugar-free applesauce or not necessarily?
No sugar added.
No sugar added. Okay.
No sugar added. And that's actually important if you're using it to bake. If you use the one that has the sugar added, the texture's off. But if you use just no sugar added, you can do some things with it.
What are some other things that people who have chronic health conditions that they need to be concerned about to make sure that their numbers don't go out of whack this holiday season?
Well, one of the things, and I guess Tyrone got those slides, is it's really about the portions. It's really about the portions. And when I think about the holidays, I think about my husband who works in an emergency room, and he hates the holidays
Yep.
because someone's going to come in with elevated blood pressure on the verge of a stroke or a heart attack, or somebody's going to end up with elevated blood sugar, and then their blood pressure goes up and they end up on a ventilator. That's what he does. He puts people on ventilators. He doesn't like doing that, but if that's what you need, that's what you're going to get. And I guess the thing that troubles him about it is it was all preventable.
Wow.
So I'm Tyrone's going to show the slides, and I'm going to show you how you prevent it. I'm going to put it in some context, because the whole idea is you want to enjoy your holidays. It's not a vacation. It's not a vacation time from doing what you need to do to take care of yourself. So I have some specific things you can do to still enjoy yourself.
I guess I'm just Tyrone is queuing it up to bring up your slides, Linda. You know, I think about people who have chronic health conditions, and really they're going to go with their old family traditions, family recipes. My mom was looking for her recipes earlier, and so to make that switch from the old recipes to the newer version, it really is important to know those substitutions. Like you mentioned, the applesauce. You know, you can use this. You can have an oil replacement or substitution. For example, go with your family recipe, but here's how you modify it to make it healthy. So we'll go ahead, Linda, and let you go through the slides. Beautiful slide presentation. Look at the healthy eating for the. Oh, that's so nice.
Linda, I
Okay.
think you need to put up a cookbook, you and Chef. You know, you guys can maybe co-produce it or something, because that'll make a huge difference in some of
Having
our,
yeah. And in the handout that I provided, there's actually a chart of some of those substitutions. So and it tells you which one to use where. And then
Great.
there's some recipes for, I think it's pumpkin bars. There's a recipe for making your own vegetable chips, not the ones in the bag.
Wonderful.
So and a cup of those would only be 79 calories. So you can sit there in front of the New Year's Day football game and eat them one at a time.
chew and
Are
chunk.
you ready? You ready for him to start the slide?
Yeah,
Tyrone.
so we can go to the next slide. This just really hit me. They did a survey in 2021, and they interviewed several thousand people that struggle with type 2 diabetes, and they said that the holidays are some of the most stressful times of the year for them. Next slide. And so I put Thanksgiving, I put Christmas, and I said, don't give in. Don't give in, but also don't give up. So the first way you do that is to take control of the kitchen. And it's exactly what Chef said in the beginning. Make your own food from scratch. If you look at I won't name names, but a pie that you buy in the freezer section of the store, each slice will have 200 to 300 more calories than if you made it yourself. So
Wow.
if you have someone in your family that's diabetic, and I learned this from my mother when she had a 84-year-old temper tantrum one day, I would have separate desserts for her. And she said, "Why can't I have what you have?" So from that day forward, we all ate her diabetic friendly dessert. That's just what we all ate. If you're going to a function and you know that there's not going to be anything that you should eat, take your own food with you. And then the last one is related to what Chef said, and that's to avoid the processed foods, because processed foods are designed for you to eat more of them. They're designed for you not to be able to control yourself. So you got to do some planning. So know what events you're going to, what time you're going to go, follow your eating schedule. So whatever your schedule is, follow your schedule. See, I've had clients that say to me, "Well, I'm not going to eat breakfast and lunch because I'm saving up for tonight." Well, if you do that, you're going to be so hungry that it is going to be very hard for you to control your portions. And because your body thinks you're starving, it's going to save more of those calories than it would have if you were not ravenously hungry. So, taking your own food applies to this as well. And then if the function is later than you would normally eat before you go. So this one is the one that I've been focusing on this year, and that is to create new traditions. I have some relatives that if I go to their house for Thanksgiving, there will be a whole table, not just a section, a whole table with cakes, pies, cookies, and an assortment of other things.
My kind of party, Linda. Oh, I'm sorry.
So if you're the one planning the meal, pick a dessert that you are going to have. Pick one. And then rather than putting the pie out there for people to cut their own slice, plate it in advance. Plate it in the right portion size and put the plates on the table. Um, Diabetic friendly foods for everybody. Just don't tell them what you did. Um, Jocelyn, you already did this one. More vegetables. And so you want to cook those vegetables because a vegetable by itself, it's only 25 calories. A whole cup, 25 calories. But you add that the butter and and the flour and the grease, and you add all of those sauces to it. You have taken a very healthy 25 calorie food and multiplied the calories by 10. So you took 20 and made it 200. And then this last one, I'm probably going to live to regret it. I bought a game where I think it's called Twister, where
Yeah.
you're all moving around. So we will have Twister after our Christmas dinner. We're going to play Twister. So if I'm on crutches next month in January, you'll know what happened.
Boy, that's old school.
But the whole idea is instead of sitting there watching a football game, you do
Right,
something
right.
where you're moving. Now, this is one that I like as well, and I call it make your home a safe space. If there's a food that you do not need to eat, do not bring it in the house. And so people will say to me, "Oh, well, I got it for the grandkids." If the grandkids are biologically related to you, they are already at risk. So do them a favor and just don't have it in the house. If it's not in the house, you're going to have to, and you want it, you're going to have to get up, get your keys, get in the car, drive somewhere. That gives you plenty of time to rethink what you're about to do. So the other way to make your home a safe space is to get enough sleep. Now I'm talking to myself. Get enough sleep, and part of that is so that you're not so tired. Because when you're tired, it is very hard not to eat sweets when you're tired. The next one is to control your stress level. You know, there's something we need to learn from 2-year olds, and the favorite word of a 2-year old is no.
No.
So there are people that want to put expectations on you, want to put obligations on you. Say no. It's okay. Just say no. Now, having said that, most of our things, we're actually putting requirements on ourselves. So you may want to say no to yourself as well. And so normally I don't have my clients weigh themselves every day, but during the holidays, you may want to weigh yourself every day so that, especially if you're struggling with heart issues or blood pressure, you need to know if your weight goes up significantly in a day, that means it's time to back off because you're retaining fluid. So weigh yourself every day during the holidays. Now, I have a picture of a glass here. This is my absolute favorite trick for social events. And that is you decide what you're going to eat, you eat it, and then you grab a glass, and if you can find some lemon or some lime to hang off the top of it so that it looks festive, you just walk around at the function with this glass of water and you sip it. What that does is it keeps people from asking you, are you on a diet? Well, it's the holidays. Why just go ahead and eat what you want? You've heard people do that. So if you're walking around with the glass, they're less likely to even notice that you're not eating. So you want to use a small plate. And if you want to practice something for the new year, you know how plates have a rim? Only put food inside the rim. That actually saves a couple hundred calories. And so the next one is to skip seconds because you don't taste it anyway. Your taste buds are already fatigued. So when you decide what to put on that plate, you sit down and you focus on the plate. Enjoy every lick of it because you're not going back for seconds.
So says Linda.
So, Linda, I'm going to pause a moment and we'll come back to your slide presentation. Great information. If you're just tuning in, we're talking about healthy holiday eating. It's a big deal for some of us, too, as we struggle with our chronic health conditions. It's at this time we like to pause for a moment and do our...
Welcome to Pause for the Truth's Mid-Show Minute. Today is Tuesday, November 25th, 2025. Let's talk thinking giving. The food is love, the table is history, the flavors, they're family. But some of our traditional plates, fried turkey, mac and cheese stacked high, candied yams drowning in sugar, greens cooked with heavy pork, sweet tea, every pie you can name, can hit our bodies harder than we think. Here's the truth. In Black communities, rates of high blood pressure, type 2 diabetes, heart disease, stroke are higher. Not because we're doing something wrong, but because the system's been stacked. Food deserts, higher prices for the good stuff, aggressive junk food marketing, stress from racism, long hours, caregiving, less time to cook. That shows up on the plate and in our numbers. So I'm not here to shame your grandma's recipe. I'm here to help you keep the flavor and protect your health. Here's the game plan. Hook your plate with color first. Pile on greens, roasted veggies, a bright salad before the starches. Keep the portions honest. One scoop, not a mountain. Flip the fats. Air fry turkey, oven roast turkey. Brush with a little oil, don't bathe it. Swap smoked turkey for salt pork and greens. Use olive oil, avocado oil where you can. Cut the sugar, not the soul. For yams, halve the sugar. Add cinnamon, add nutmeg, add orange zest. Let sweet tea be half sweet. Mix with unsweetened tea and lemon. Choose one dessert you'll really savor. Respect the mac. Use sharp cheese so you need less. Fold in pureed cauliflower. Fold in pureed butternut for creaminess. Keep portions tight. Season like a pro garlic, onion, smoked paprika, thyme, cayenne. Flavor without the salt flood. Drink water between plates. Your heart will thank you. After the meal, walk the block with cousins. 15 minutes keeps sugar from spiking. Bring a better dish if you can't control the menu: roasted Brussels with balsamic herb, roasted sweet potatoes, a citrus slaw. And before the day ends, check your pressure if you have a cuff. Know your numbers, that's power. We deserve holidays that celebrate us, and futures that protect us. Keep the culture, upgrade the choices, pass down health with the recipes. This has been Pause for the Truth's Mid-Show Minute. Share this with someone you love, and I'll see you at the table.
Tyrone. And I also would like to mention our own history maker. Chef Amadeus was the winner of Food Network's Extreme Chef Mexican Showdown. And as he often says, his love for food was cultivated by his Puerto Rican grandmother and Philadelphia-born mother. So we have a history maker amongst us. Congratulations, Chef, on that. And I actually remember when that happened. What year was that, Chef?
That was in 2011. So I'm actually the first Food Network winner in the state of Florida.
Another history-making moment.
Yes. So I was very excited to win that, considering that the competition that I had, the guy that I beat, he graduated from the Culinary Institute of America and everything like that. So, and like I tell everybody, you know, my passion just overrides people's ego. So it's just, and I love to learn. I love
Chef,
having conversations with food.
Yeah, that food you prepared on that show, since I watched it, though, I would never replicate. I just wanted to add that for.
But, you know, here's the other thing. When you're eating well, if you're in the right circle, it makes it so much easy because you can call. Like, I have a vegan chef friend up in DC, and Chef Ariel. And when I'm have vegan thoughts, I call her up and we like talk about, work through some things. And she like this weekend we did I did a Dutch Ovens After Dark. We did a vegan peach cobbler. Everybody loved it. It was like, dude. And we didn't tell them it was vegan until after they ate it. But it was like, oh, I posted the pictures and everything, and it's just like, if you're in the right circle, you can do better in the community versus all by yourself. Because all by yourself, everything you say sounds great to you until you talk to somebody else like, that's not how that works. So having a community like you guys are building, people should really start coming together to, you know, ask the questions to people like Linda and myself and Doc and you that, you know, they look like us and like, listen, like you say, how do I go from point A to point B? Not C and D, just A to B. And like the first thing is telling me is cut out the processed food. That's the first step. Cut out processed food. And then let me show you how to cook. Everything you want, you normally do. I'm not trying to make you cook like me. Same technique with different ingredients. That's all it is. So if you like your greens, you like your rice and everything like that, no problem with that. Let's show you a different way to do it. If you have certain allergies or whatever, Dr. Brown and I can sit down and say, hey, this is how you do this. For you, not for me, but for you, this is what you need to do because of your health issues.
Chef, I'll never forget we'll get back to Linda's presentation because it was amazing. Chef, I'll never forget we were at an event that they were giving out fresh vegetables that day. And you just went into the vehicle and just pulled out some vegetables. And I'm standing there watching them, right? And I'm like, I like all of these vegetables. How come I never thought about putting that all together? And I literally stood there and watched him. And by the way, Chef, I need to have a sidebar conversation with you of how to prepare that because it was so good. I was making it all the time. I saved it on my phone, got a new phone, and didn't keep the recipe, but it was just so delicious. You just went in. I think you grabbed a zucchini, a squash, a carrot, just whatever, a sweet potato, not carrot, and blended that stuff together. And I forgot what the other vegetables were, but amazing. And I know everybody I've talked to, Linda, every registered dietitian I've talked to said, just get whatever vegetables you like, because there are a lot of vegetables I don't like, right? And so just get whatever vegetables you like and just cook them right? But it's cooking them healthy. And by the way, I can't forget, we have to mention Linda's famous advice that she had when we had the conversation about colon cancer, and that is those 2 carrots, that bottle of water, and that walk as well. For those of you, as you eat too much food and have a difficult time going, if you know what I mean. Linda says, if you want to clean out your system after a big meal, eat a couple of carrots, drink a bottle of water, and go for a half an hour walk, and you'll have no problem. And by the way, that's for ongoing, Linda, right?
That's right. Ongoing.
I try to hit my steps. I try to hit about 10,000 steps a day, and it's a lot of fun to do it because it's like when I'm get home at night, it's like, okay, I'm 4,000 short. Cool. Put my headphones on, go walk around till I hit my 10,000. And if you ever talking to me and I'm walking, that's what I'm doing to get my steps in. So when I'm talking or having meetings, I'm on my phone, I'm walking.
And before you know it, it's over.
Say phone meetings and take a walk at the same time.
Yeah,
That is very efficient.
Exactly.
Yep. So Tyrone, if you can pull Linda's presentation back up so she can finish that, and then we'll resume asking questions. Thank you.
This is another one of my things that I just really love. And you have to draw a line. So I've had clients that say, well, I started out at this place and then I went to that place and I said to myself, I'll start tomorrow. Tomorrow never comes. So start today. And it is okay to say no. And you do not owe anyone an explanation for what you are or are not eating. You don't owe anybody an explanation. So in the United States, eating mindfully is something that we do a really poor job of because we're generally not focusing on the food. So if you don't focus on it, you tend to eat too much. So one of the things that my clients learn is what does it feel like when they are really hungry, when they're actually hungry. So with controlling what you put on your plate, decide that whatever amount that you put on your plate, be it small, hopefully, that you're going to enjoy it rather than feeling bad about what you don't have. Enjoy what you have on the plate. So if you are able, and you know yourself better than anybody else does, if you are able to eat a small portion of something, then eat a small portion and enjoy it. If you know that you can't do that, then don't start. So the next thing is about being mindful is to actually pay attention to what you are thinking. So if you say, I am going to be good, what you have actually said is, I've just given myself permission today to be bad. And I don't even like the terms good and bad because there is so much energy and emotion in those terms. It just makes it harder for you to manage yourself. The next thing, I've had my clients say, well, I already messed up, so I might as well just go ahead and eat the rest of it. No. If up, if you messed up, just understand that a slip is not a failure. So if you messed up today, don't say, I'll start tomorrow. Start today. But we will forgive other people. We will forgive our children. We have trouble forgiving ourselves. And so here's how you forgive yourself is to just accept the fact that a slip is not a failure. And one of my mother's favorite things was if you fall off the horse, get back on it and keep going. So a slip, you fell off the horse, get back on it. So
And I have to say this, Linda. You know, you and I had many conversations, and it's been many times where I slipped, and I get frustrated myself. I go walking. I just go walking. Like, okay, yeah, it's like doing a etch a sketch, shake it off, and then go walk.
I like that. And walking is
It never happened.
walking is good. That's a double benefit. So if you're traveling, it we used to drive 8, 10, 12 hours for holidays. So you're stuck in the car with these screaming children, and the temptation could be to stop at a fast food joint, just stuff something in their mouth and keep going. So if you're traveling, you want to plan that. So you want to take your own snacks. If you're on a plane, put it in your carry-on, because I promise you, all they're going to give you is some salty pretzels, and you don't want that. So take your own snacks. If you need to be distracted, because you got to do something with your hands, listen to some music, read a book, play a puzzle, do something that does not involve putting food in your mouth. So when you're traveling, you don't want to take a vacation from making healthy choices. And the other part that's really difficult, but really important, and that is to stay hydrated. So if you're going to be in the car, you're going to be in an airport, wherever, have water and drink it. And so, can you really do this? And so I'm show you some pictures, and this is just the nutritionist mind. So the title of this next section is really. So here's a plate. It was one of the few plates I could find online that didn't have alcohol. But here's a plate. And so it is a pretty typical plate for a Thanksgiving or a Christmas meal. So how many carbs do you think are on the plate?
I see some cornbread, some
I see about
yams, potatoes, some, I don't know what that is. I'll say stuffing, and then cranberry sauce.
And and there are two kinds of potatoes on that plate.
Sweet potato too. Yeah, sweet potato and
white potato.
Yeah.
Okay, so we'll go to the next one, and I'll tell you how many carbs are on that plate. 7.5.
Mm-hmm.
And you just thinking about it, you wouldn't think that it was that many. So the next slide is the holiday pies. So, and this is if you take the pie, put it in an 8-inch pan and cut it into, it's either 6 or 8 equal pieces. So sweet potato pie, 276 calories. If you're counting carbs, is 2 carbs, 14 grams of fat. Same size as an apple pie, 356 calories, 3.5 carbs, 17 grams of fat. Then we get to the pecan pie.
My favorite.
503 calories, 4 carbs, and 27 grams of fat. And then we have a cherry pie for all the Northerners. 390 calories, 4 carbs, and 17 grams of fat.
Wow.
So take one of those slices, cut it in half, and eat half of it. Now, I've had my clients say to me, well, I just had a bite. Okay. So, the little petafores, little teeny weeny pieces of cake, 60 calories, but those 60 calories, there's 3 carbs in there. A bite of cheesecake, 162 calories. It's only 1 carb, but cheesecake has a lot of fat, so it's 162 calories. And then, one of my favorites, folks say, well, I just had 1 cookie. Okay, 1 Toll House cookie is 148 calories. It's only 1 carb because it's mostly fat. That's why it melts in your mouth, because it's so high fat. So I know you've heard the term, because they put this out with the dietary guidelines where it says don't drink your calories. So 4 ounces of eggnog, now that's a half a cup, 4 ounces of eggnog, 220 calories, 1.5 carbs. 8 ounces of hot apple cider, 120 calories, 2 carbs. 12 ounces of sweet tea that you made at home, 135 calories, 2 carbs. If you get that sweet tea at a fast food establishment, like Chef was talking about, it's 260 to 280 calories. So make it yourself. And then we have hot chocolate, 8 ounces, 192 calories. So if you really want the eggnog, have 2 ounces and sip on it. I'm going to say drink the whole 8 ounces of the apple cider. Now, I was amazed. I mean, I had access to like 18,000 holiday meal pictures. Most of them had alcohol. So I just want to mention, if you are diabetic, alcohol is going to be a problem in 2 aspects. It actually can cause your blood sugar to go low. And even if that doesn't happen, it will interfere with your prescribed medications. So, what I wanted to kind of end with is the holidays are really about the people. I mean, the food is just something that we do, but if you focus on the people, then it makes it easier for you to not feel deprived when it comes to the food. And just think about the fact that you are helping the next generation. My son called me today and he said, "You have affected the next generation." And I said, "What did I do?" He said, "Well, Caleb," that's my grandson, "Caleb said, okay, I'm only going to have a bite of that because it is high in sugar."
All
So
right.
it can be done, and that just made my heart my heart very happy. So what I have provided for you is a handout. It's going to be on the website, and it's 25 things you can do to get through the holidays. There's some information on how to modify your recipes, and then I included some recipes that are healthy, use herbs and spices, and they taste good.
And one thing I'd like to add with this before you do, Linda, is that Linda is a registered dietitian. Tyrone, could you put that last slide back up? And for those of you who have health insurance, you may not know it, but your health insurance plan probably covers a visit to Linda. So if you would, again, Tyrone, if you could put that last slide back up. Linda has a great, as you can see, she's very smart, a wealth of knowledge, Sinette, registered dietitians and wellness. And she may even be able to do some things for you virtually, but in person is better. And I know that because I've benefited from her knowledge. And she now has a diabetes education and support for so many of us who are struggling with not struggling, I'll say managing our diabetes. And so thank you, Linda, for that great information. And as she mentioned, it's going to be on the website. So if you have not finished your holiday meal, remember the tips that Linda and Chef both have given you. Wow, the time has flown by so fast. We're at the end of the hour. Great information. Every time the two of you all come on, first of all, it's entertaining. Both of you entertain. We really, Dr. Kane, probably need to have them on at least once a month, right? Because they're very entertaining. But I mean, and Chef was modest tonight, but he really is available to come to your home and prepare a meal for you. Get up a group of your friends, call chefamadeus.net.
.net. But here's the other thing too. If you really want to do something, Linda, you and I need to get together and put together something so the folks can contact both of us and we do something together so they can see both sides of it.
And they can come taste it.
Yeah, I think it'd be really good about that. So I'm always available if you guys have questions or anything like that. But booking me along with Linda, because believe it or not, I call Linda when I have questions anyway. So, but
Yeah,
we'd love
she's
to
a
do
wealth
that.
of knowledge.
This is a great show to do that on.
And Dr.
Yeah.
Kane can tell you, as a primary care physician, so many folks are struggling with managing their diabetes and blood pressure and cholesterol. And I love the point that you made, Linda, that you may have a diagnosis of one of those diseases. However, you want to avoid that in the next generation. So do what you can to help them, and children will eat what you give them, right? People will say, "Oh, my child
Right.
won't eat that." Okay, if that, just like they'll, if once you get hungry enough, you'll eat it. And as you mentioned, both of you mentioned, if you prepare familiar foods, don't put Brussels sprouts in front of me if that's never something I eat, right?
Right.
Place the foods in front of me that I am accustomed to eating. Just show me how to prepare them healthier for my family. So this is the time of the show that we like to give our guests an opportunity to share your final thoughts. Linda, if you would, I'll start with you. What are your final thoughts as people are preparing for the holidays? And I think we're going to have you all on before Christmas, again, just to give people a extra added boost. But take it away, Linda.
I would just say decide in advance that you are going to enjoy yourself, but enjoyment is not equal to eating yourself into oblivion.
Wow. That's a mouthful. No fun, no pun intended. Thank you. Chef, what about you?
I'm with Linda. Enjoy your friends, not the food.
Yeah.
Enjoy your friends more than you enjoy the food.
Yeah, that's better.
Yeah. enjoy your friends more than you enjoy the food. Because
Right.
yeah, that's all.
Friends and family. The only thing you need to add to it, enjoy your friends and family.
Don't get caught up into all this other stuff.
Right.
It's about your friends and family.
Yep.
Yeah, that's
I
true.
agree 100%.
Dr. Kane, what are your final thoughts regarding tonight's show?
I'm gonna be quick. One of the things Linda pointed out earlier was you don't have to explain. Her and Chef both said just say no, and I just kind of tell the patients, the secret to to eating right in a diet, as you reclaim, as they sometimes asking, is put your chin to your left shoulder, then put it to the right shoulder, and just repeat that motion when people bring you food. just repeat it. The only other thing I really want to get across is you two, now you three, Linda and Chef, you need to get together with ChatGTP and write this recipe booklet that that you guys can so easily produce. And I believe that it will be very beneficial not only to our clients, our customers, my clients as patients, more or less, and our viewers, but also to yourselves. You guys really need to get together and put together a recipe book.
Okay.
Thank you, Dr. Kane. And I'm sure Linda and Chef appreciate your advice. And for those of you who have loved ones, maybe you're the lucky one who had not been diagnosed with a chronic health condition. However, you have a loved one who has diabetes, high blood pressure, heart disease, or some other illness. Don't make a special meal just for them. Make a special meal that everyone can enjoy, right. And not tell Uncle Joe that his diabetic friendly pie is over there to the side, but make the pie on the menu. The entire menu should be for everyone, because right. Maybe today you're not diabetic or have a health condition as Uncle Joe has, but next year you could, and you want to avoid that. The other thing I'd like to also add is to make sure that you include some type of physical activity. I think Linda mentioned that. Go for a walk after your meal. Include family time the next day, after you've eaten a lot more than you probably normally eat on Thanksgiving Day. On Friday, go out and shop. You can window shop. You don't have to spend money, but what you're doing is trying to get those 10,000 steps in with your family members. And if you have family members with physical limitations, before you leave the house, sit down and do some chair exercises. Before I got my knees replaced, what I would do is put on some line dancing music and just do some line dancing. It didn't seem like I was exercising. I would also, because Dr. Kane used to tell me this when I was his patient, go and get you some canned vegetables, not to eat, by the way, but or a bag of grits or rice or peas or beans, and use them as weights, and do some weight lifting as well, because that also is important. The tips that we share on Pause for the Truth is really intended for you to maintain a healthy lifestyle. During this holiday season, we also want to remind you to check on those loved ones who are those friends who've lost loved ones since last holiday season. Managing stress is also important. Check on folks who you know that this time of year is hard for them. Their relative or family member is no longer here with them as they were last season. Enjoy your holidays, and remember to tune in next week for Pause for the Truth. Thank you, Linda. Thank you, Chef. Happy Thanksgiving, everyone. Good night.
Same to you.
Good night.